Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for embarrassing my mom because she started dating my boyfriend's dad? That's right, folks. Sorry if anything is confusing. English is not my first language. Please correct if something is very wrong. So, I'm a 19-year-old female, and my boyfriend, a 20-year-old male, have been dating for the last 4 years now. He was in 10th grade, and I was in ninth grade when we got together. My parents and his always knew about our relationship. We actually lived near each other when we were younger and went to the same kindergarten. Now, his father was a single father for a long time, and my parents got divorced 3 years ago. Well, 3 weeks ago, I got home. Since the university is in the same city, I still live with her, and I saw my mom and his dad kissing. And it's an understatement that I was shocked. Like, what are you even doing? I immediately called my boyfriend and he came over. We got into this huge fight with them and they started talking about marriage. The same day I requested to get a room in the dorm. And since then, I haven't talked to her up until a family dinner. While everyone was eating, my aunt asked why my mom and I aren't talking. So I told them everything. Well, maybe if she wasn't doing my boyfriend's father, who apparently is going to be my brother's father soon, I would talk to her. And maybe I was harsh on her, but I was really hurt. Well, my mom got all red and embarrassed and started shouting about how our love is young and why should she ruin her love life because we kids think it's going to last. I started shouting at my mom and she left. My grandmother called saying I was cruel. Literally, somehow, everyone is siding with my mom except my cousin. Am I the jerk? Was I too cruel? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. And your mom is being an absolute jerk and trivializing your relationship.
Yeah, that's really what this feels like. It's like such a, oh, your relationship, I don't have to worry about it. It's not going to last anyways, so don't worry about this.
I know that high school sweethearts aren't common to make it all the way through, but you made it 4 years. That
Yeah.
when most high school relationships die out.
Well, yeah, and the thing is this, if she really thinks that this relationship isn't going to last, then she needs to give you two the chance to have your relationship fail, right? And then once it's failed, you two they can move on and, do whatever. But even if that were the case, isn't that going to make holidays awkward? Because if you have to see your ex at these holidays, that's going to be a bad time.
Well, that's the thing that bothers me is it feels like she hasn't given any consideration to OP at all. She's like, I am going to have my glorious love, and who cares what happens to OP and boyfriend?
Yeah. Well, and then the complication too is if there's laws on the books and wherever OP is from that state step siblings aren't able to date, then that might actually be a destroyer of the relationship. This might make their relationship illegal. And certainly, I think that this is pretty problematic in a lot of ways. And it does seem like the mom and the future father-in-law, I don't know what to say.
Future stepfather.
Future stepfather, yes. Both? Well, I don't know, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess it would be dual. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Whichever one you want to pick, it's going to make it very awkward. They're not even thinking about the relationship of their children. So yeah, anyhow, take care and good luck. And Embarrassed Advice 59 says, a lot of people are skimming over the fact that OP's mom literally believed it was okay because she thinks the relationship is a fleeting one and won't last. They've been dating for 4 years, mind you. OP's mom's relationship is newer than OP's. That is so disrespectful and ironic coming from OP's mom. OP has every right to feel uncomfortable. Everyone telling OP to grow up needs to understand that this mom could have chose a billion other dudes to date, and she settled so quickly on her daughter's boyfriend's dad. Seriously. Not the jerk, OP. Hopefully someday your mom will understand your point of view. I only have one correction to this whole thing. We only speculate that the relationship is this new. Maybe that's why they got divorced. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it was 3 years ago, right? He's been single for longer. And, yeah. I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm just saying that well, we can stoke the fuel of rumors here. All right, folks. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to move my husband's service dog out of the house because my niece is uncomfortable? No. I'm going to be quick. My husband is disabled and won't expand on that for privacy. We got him a service dog 4 months ago to help him on a daily basis. My brother and his family lost their home and asked to move in with us for a few weeks till they find a new place to stay. Thing is this, my niece is 14 and started complaining about the service dog making her, quote, uncomfortable. It's strange. No allergies, nothing, but she's just uncomfortable. She told my brother and he asked if I could move the dog. I said, absolutely not. This dog is literally as helpful as a human being when it comes to people with disabilities. And he's incredibly smart, and more importantly, he minds his own business and never bothers my niece, but she's just uncomfortable with him for some reason. My brother and his wife started begging, saying that it's just temporary, but I refused. They said that my husband doesn't really need the dog that much as of now, since he's home most of the time. Yet I still refused. They tried talking to my husband directly, but I shut that down immediately. My brother's wife started an argument with me right after my brother went to work, and she started yelling about how I value the dog over my niece's comfort. I said it wasn't just the dog, but it's my husband who needs him. My brother came home and we kept arguing. He said that I was being unsupportive and cruel to my niece who's already been through enough. My husband got involved and asked me to take him to his father's house with the dog, but I said no, not after what his dad said to him, and that him and the dog are staying. My brother and his wife are in the guest room sulking hard while my niece is ignoring me. Meanwhile, my husband is sitting in the kitchen now trying to convince me to let him go stay with his dads to keep the peace with my brother. This man, my husband, is like this all the time, always willing to do what others want just to keep the peace. You can literally cuss him out and he'll apologize to you like it was his fault. He thinks he owes people for accepting him as a disabled man, which is sad. And it is true that he's home most of the time, but he still needs his service dog throughout the day. Am I the jerk for refusing to move the dog temporarily? My niece is upset with me. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, and your niece and her family are acting entitled. This is your home. Your husband needs this dog. Like, even if it was just a pet, you'd be within your right to keep your dog in your home. But
Yeah.
the fact that it's a service dog on top of that,
Well, yeah, I think that barring the dog being actually dangerous, for sure, right? And I think that they are guests in the home. They're here because out of the generosity of OP and their husband, and they can't see the value in keeping the peace themselves, right? They know that the brother is a pushover and they're trying to push OP's husband over because they know that he'll cave easily. Now, and I think that's problematic. I really do.
yeah, well, that shows how little respect they have for him. Like, they would
Yeah.
rather make his life harder so they don't have to be inconvenienced with the niece being uncomfortable. Like, and I understand not liking being around dogs. I'm not much of a dog person myself, but like, this is OP's home. They're guests in her home. Like, they could find other arrangements if this is really making the niece that uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is certainly, if this is the deal breaker for them, they don't have to stay here, right? So, anyhow, take care and good luck. And NTG0703 says, Not the jerk, you're a good partner, and don't let your husband go to stay with his father. Tell your brother and sister-in-law that if family is uncomfortable by the dog, a medical necessity for your husband, then they should find other living accommodations. Beggars can't be choosers. And OP replies, The reason I refuse to let my husband go stay with his dad is because of that. He said to him last week that he was there. He basically called my husband useless and a failure and told him that he was good for nothing because he couldn't get me pregnant. But that was an infertility issue that we've been dealing with for years. It's also late now to have kids, me, 34, him, 37. but we still do not appreciate these types of comments from his dad of all people. It's sad. It's kind of a sad situation.
Mm-hmm.
What a terrible plight. Maybe they can go stay with the dad. Our next letter is titled, Am I the jerk for telling my ex's wife that he lied to her? I'm a 33-year-old female, and I have a 13-year-old son named Adam that I've raised on my own. His dad, Chris, a 34-year-old male, was someone I met in college. We had mutual friends and started dating when we were 18 and 19 years old. We broke up because he told me that his family would never accept a woman like me. I'm a person of color, and he didn't want to put either of us through that. I found out that I was pregnant a few weeks ago, and when I told him about the baby, he basically told me to stay out of his life. I didn't contact Chris again after that. I even transferred colleges, but I kept in touch with friends that I had there. Some of them knew that he and I had broken up, but not everyone knew that I was pregnant. When I had Adam, I contacted a few people to announce it, but otherwise I just kept to myself and focused on my son. I didn't think to worry about Chris beyond maybe helping Adam track him down someday when he was older. Well, a few months ago, I got a message from one of the friends that I kept up with from college. He said that he was still friends with Chris as well, and Chris asked him if he had my number. He made sure that it was okay with me before giving it to him. Chris texted me and asked if he could get to know my son. I told him that I would talk to Adam about it first, and Adam eventually agreed to start talking to him. They had a pretty consistent messaging back and forth and 1 or 2 phone calls over the past few months. Well, Chris asked if we would be comfortable with having dinner with him and his wife because Adam said that he really wanted to. I said okay, and we set a time and place. Adam went to go to the restroom, and Chris went to go get his phone out of the car because he had left it there on accident. So when his wife, Grace, 34, and I were alone, she said that she wasn't judging my choice to do so, but she just wanted to know why I waited so long to tell Chris that he had a son. As you can all see, folks, this is not a good situation. I kind of laughed and told her that Chris knew I was pregnant the day after I found out about it, and he asked me to stay away, so I did. Him not knowing my son was his choice. She looked shocked and told me that Chris had informed her that he only found out about Adam a few months ago. I said that I was sorry that her husband lied to her, but he's known about Adam the whole time. Dinner was painfully awkward after that, so it ended a little early. Later in the night, when I was getting ready for bed, I got a text from Chris asking why I had told his wife that he had lied to her about the situation. Because it's not OP's responsibility to carry your lies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you even supposed to know about a lie if you're not even told about it, for one, right? I said that it wasn't my place to cover for him, but then he replied that I should have just told her to talk to him about it instead of telling her something that could ruin their marriage. He thinks I did it as some gotcha for how things ended up. I will admit that I knew telling her the truth was probably going to make some waves, but the only thing I feel remorseful about is the fact that this is probably going to mess things up for the relationship that he's trying to have with my son. Still, was I the jerk for telling her? Edited to add. I had a conversation with Adam about why dinner became so awkward last night. And he has said that he doesn't want to talk to Chris anymore because he doesn't think he'll get anything beneficial from a relationship with his bio father that he doesn't already have in his life. I obviously respect that choice, and I told him that I could tell Chris that for him if he would like me to, but he said that he would call or text on his own. Also, I don't plan on getting any child support from Chris because it's not something that Adam wants, and because in order to get support, I'd have to put Chris on the birth certificate, and I'm not comfortable doing that. I don't want him to have any sort of access to my son, and Adam has said that he doesn't want him to have rights over him either. All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I mean, he tried to throw you under the bus. Like, you have no obligation to go along with this lie you didn't even know was going on.
Well, that's just it. OP1 didn't know about the lie, and 2, why would OP have to cover for somebody who was lying, right? If the truth makes you look like a bad person, then you're probably a bad person.
Well, and it seems more than anything like he was doing this for his, like, to impress his wife or something.
Yeah.
Not like he wanted a genuine relationship with the son.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how it came out, right? Or why he told her about this, or any number of things. Maybe somebody in the friends group knew about it and they mentioned it, and he's like, oh, yeah, she just told me the other day about this, right? Right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, yeah, I don't think that OP's at fault here. He had a chance to tell the truth and come clean, and that's that. OP doesn't have any obligation to lie for him. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And OK Mode 2038 says, not the jerk, he created this mess. This is on him. Don't let him try to make his problem your problems. They aren't. And Smartland 8955 says, he also has his audacity. He's happy with the blame of wrongdoing being put on her, but not on him. Oh, also his audacity. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have some tea right here.
I have tea over there.
And we got jokes.
What should you do if you are hungry but don't want to eat?
Well, if you're hungry and you don't want to eat, you should become a phytoplankton. That way, you can absorb the sunlight and then magic. You are fed.
Okay, but for those of us who don't have magical powers.
All right, if you don't have magical powers, then why are you even here? Okay. Muggle.
Okay, do you want to hear the punchline?
I have no ears. I only hear through magic.
Talk to an annoying person until you're fed up. Wow, I was so hungry, but I think I'm full now. I think I'm fed up.
Well, that was a little on the nose. And I have Mega Mint tea.
Which you guessed correctly.
I did. I somehow, by some magic, guessed it correctly. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.